Are you done?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. I almost started crying a little bit at the beginning because it's just like it really bothers me when I've always told people that I can never believe that people who commit suicide go to a bad place or punished because I said most of the best of us either have thought
Hmm.
about it or wanted to do it because this is a dark realm. This is not a nice place to be. It just isn't. Like, let's not lie about it. We can make it better. Like, we could be positive and, like you said, proactive. But as it is and as it has been, it is not the best place in the world, in the galaxy or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It
and
is a
so,
playground.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so it breaks my heart when there's just so many people like yourself who are so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, and suffering, and it just breaks my heart those moments. Like I can even imagine even now there's someone going through something similar to what you did, and they feel
Yeah.
so alone. And it's like when you hear enough of these stories, I just want to say this very quickly that people like you're not alone. There is someone else who feels
Hmm.
very much the same way, You just got to find your tribe, find your people.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's
but
happened. That's happened after this near this experience that I started to know who I was and then why I was going through this journey as Kaya. And then, why I needed to have all those things in the childhood because they had a meaning behind it. And then also I know the meaning of this world, not completely everything, but I have a very good, how to say, the knowledge of from my experience and then from my client's experience and then also that knowledge I learned from the past. In India, I've seen the avatar, and then I had a lot of experience with them. And so the spiritual journey happened, and then I learned that this world we are experiencing is not bad, but the mind was creating these negative realities that everything I was focusing when I was a child were negative. My mom was saying that, and then like my the student in the school was doing that to me. Like my lunch times, that the food was smashed, and then the milk I needed to drink was like put it onto other plates that it's mixed up, and then that the frog was in my desk, or like all those things happen. And I was like, whoa, whoa, like what's happening?
yeah.
And then they trying to ignore me, did like look like I was not existing. But that was my plan. This is the things that clearly I know this is my plan, that I needed to go through that so that I can feel all different type of emotions, and then I understand the circumstances that my client or the people who I'm going to encounter they're going through. So it was my plan. I chosen my name, I chosen my parents, I chosen these circumstances, not every single moment. It is like we have the point we're gonna go through. But that point,
Mhm.
we planned it as a programmer. So we have a programming in these lifetimes because we want to do something. This is like experiment of the soul. So we choose what we want to do. Then all the people who you meet, all the situations that you're going to go through, you choose. And
Mhm.
the people say, oh, but like I just give you one example. A guy who's abducted so many times in the past. So he came for the regression therapy because I do QHHT session. And then he said, I decide not to be abducted, but they come. This is my free will. They cannot interfere, right? And then I said to him, okay, let's see what's gonna happen. So in the regression therapy, when he went back to life between life, what's happened is he was talking to the soul master. So in the soul group, there was a soul master. He was guiding this group of souls. I don't know, giving them instruction and stuff. And this master was so wise and so great that my client, I call him Kevin, okay? It's not Kevin, but I call him Kevin today. So the Kevin was so wished to be like this master, yeah? So Kevin said to the master, I want to be like you. I follow you and you tell me what to do. You just, give me instruction. I will do whatever you say. So he gave a free will, in a sense, to this master. And this master had a contract with those ET beings to say, oh, you guys can use his body as an experiment if you want to.
Oh my
So he
goodness.
was seeing all this story in the regression therapy. He was like, wow, he's telling those beings they can use my body. And then the master said, look, you don't understand what's happening right now in your lifetime. You will eventually understand. You giving the free will to me. I just had a contract with those beings, and then you agree to it. So your free will was used. So yes, that was your free will, and then so be it. And then one more thing, Master said, have you ever had a cold even? You went into sickness. He said, no, because those little ET beings, they are taking care of his body so well. Even though sometimes he found the scars and stuff, but he's healed completely. And then he doesn't even get a cold or catch a cold. No. So,
Wow. Oh my God. That is
yeah,
different.
so the free will, yeah, it's kind of like people translate it in a different ways, this free will, but I think in a sense that our soul is choosing, and but not only from this dimensional realities. Before we enter this dimensional reality, we are already choosing.
Mm.
So that's why it's called free will. And then also we are given the gift of forgetting things, right? And then also choose which way we want to go or what we want to do. And
Mm.
I always tell the people that universe only has one question to ask. That one question is the key. And yes, where you come from, where you're going after this physical body, that's important question. But the main question is, what do you want? Then you choose. And then some people say, but I am having a trouble with my husband. I didn't choose him to be that. And I say, but you chosen your husband. And then you're choosing to stay with him.
Mm.
So that choice is there always. And then, oh, but because of family, this is the family things that I cannot be away from them. And I said, no, that's not true. Even the families, they have a different soul missions. When we call missions, it's like work, yeah? But I'm not saying that. I'm saying like the soul has a different desires. Soul has a different things we want to do. So we come from the same biological family, but it doesn't mean always like you have to stay. If they are toxic people, you can stay away and do other things. But the mind trap us to this little spot to say, no, this is safe. You stay here. You cannot get out. So the free will is here in a sense. So I know that I chose my mom. I chose these lifetimes, life stories, so that I become this. I learned how to change my mindset. I learned how I feel sad, disappointed, angry, frustrated, and loneliness, and all that emotions. And it sounds like those emotions are negative. It's because the frequency levels, they are negative frequencies with it, but doesn't mean they're bad. They're all equally important. The positive ones or negative ones, they're just different. So I could learn that because of my experience. So I become better and better and better and better and better. And then because of that experience, 2008, I had, then I really shifted myself and then getting into the metaphysicals, spiritualities, and then more synchronicity started to happen, understanding this different dimensional aspect of life. And it is so fun. And yes, when you see the world, because of the media, because of this internet information, even the SNS, they create negative stories and they only show you negative stories. Therefore, you feel like there are a bunch of negative things. Yes, it is. But thing is, in the universe, it's always 50-50. The positive 50, negative 50. So there's always, as much as negativity exists, we have the same amount of positivities. Which way you want to focus is the key. Because when I went to see an avatar means a physical, how do you say? She is in a physical form, but she is holding the universal consciousness, um, or universal consciousness, I should say, that it is not like human. She behaves like human, but she doesn't have a life like a human. She helps humanity to teaching or, just being there. And so I was already follower of Satya Sai Baba in India, but the thing is, he was already out of the physical form. So I went into India. That was a couple of years ago by now. And in September, I went to India to meet another avatar. And that avatar, I call her Amma. It's not hugging Amma. There are so many Amma. Amma means mother in India. So Amma is everywhere. But this avatar is called Amma. And she knows everything. She can materialize things from thin air. It's like, whoop. And then the big Ganesha statue, very heavy, metallic Ganesha statue on the hand. Or the bracelet with the crystals just coming out from here. Not from the hand, but in the air. And then give it to people. And I was thinking, I'm getting hungry. And then that moment she said, eat. like I am living with someone or something that knows me everything, my past, my future, or everything, what I'm thinking, what my energy is. So I was like really nervous. But anyway, why I'm talking about this is because I asked her a question. We have everything on this planet and out of the planet. Everything exists is God, is a divine. And negative, positive, doesn't matter. They're all equal. And there are people who kills others, do the wrong things. And then there is a war, and then there is discriminations, and then there are, bad things happening. And there are people who's helping and sacrificing their life for helping others, doing good things, saying good things. Okay, why I am this way? I want to be good. Why I'm focusing on this side? Because for the divine, both sides is very important, right? So why I'm focusing on this way? And she said, the universal question, what do you want? Of course, nothing else she asked me. She said, what do you want? And I said, I want to be good in this lifetime. I want to help people. I want to do good. And she said, be that, do that. That's it. And then she said one more thing. Everything you do, come back to you. That's it. Her guidance is very simple. It's not complicated. The human beings like complications, but the divine message is very simple. It's like, whatever you choose is your path on this planet, in this lifetime, do it, because we're going to go through anyway, all different sort of lifetimes. Like we become really bad person or we go through the life as a little rock or the tree or gecko or like ants or the air. We go through everything. And as I just talk about the human life, like we become black and yellow and white, and then we become female, male, or in the between, or like we live in Italy and then in Japan and Australia. We go through everything anyway. But in this lifetime, what do you want is the key to follow, because there you have the answer. You don't have to think a lot, or I should do this. It's like 1 + 1 = 2, you know? If I do this, if I do that, I become that. The universe doesn't work like this. So whatever you feel, you follow. So my life was teaching me how to deal with life when it's difficult, how to talk to people, how to help people when they're going through the difficulties. Because this lifetime, like I chose to be Caia, I chose to be good and giving, you know, all this, I don't know, opportunity to people to be awakened. That I call myself the awakening helper because I'm the trigger. I can detect something that they need to shift. And then they're like, you know, I'm not changing them. You cannot change others anyway. So all I do is become an instrument of the divine purpose and then giving them opportunity to realize by themselves, but they need kind of chance or opportunity to do it, right, with something, also with someone or something. So I am just an instrument, and I choose to be this. That's why I am enjoying this life now. Like I know who I am, I know why I'm here, and then I know the life sometimes give us struggle, but that's not life is giving us struggle. Our mind is making us feel it is struggle, you know?
Mm.
And so I understand little by little, like my awareness getting higher and higher. I don't know, this is the proper description, but I was getting wiser and wiser. And then more you purify your ego and desire, and then things started to show you clearly. So that's what's happened to my life. So I really appreciate of these lifetimes that they give me opportunity to go through the difficult lifetimes as a child, and you know that near this experience type of experience, and so many miracles. I see miracles everywhere, almost every day. So I just laugh about it because it's so funny, and then it's so much fun, you know.
Mm. I have so many questions. All
Okay.
right. So my first very big question is, where did all of this knowledge come from? Was this something that you took back from the void? Was this something that came back in downloads? Or is it stuff that you actually sought by going out and meeting, the avatar and people like that, or reading books?
Everything,
Every,
everything all together. But some of the things I talk about is coming from my truth. So maybe not other people's truth yet, because the truth is not one, but
yeah.
how I feel from my heart. And then also that things that I download, or they give me like images and like informations within me. And when
Hmm.
I say I see, it's not like seeing here, like three-dimensional. I'm seeing like images. Like I'm start to remember something, you know. Then you
Hmm.
have an image somewhere, and then you're like, oh, I remember that. That kind of, but that is very clear. And then I just tell people what I see. But
Hmm.
I don't remember sometimes like what I do or say. It's just it comes to me, and then I say some of the information comes through like that. And then also um how to say, like the knowledge I learned from different teachers, of course, because in the process I searched for teachers, and then of course I learned about Joe Dispenzas, and then Bruce Lipton's, and then TL Swan, I love her too, and then all this Buddhist knowledge, Shintoism from Japan, and all this knowledge, and then Matthias De Stefano, I love him. And it's like so many things coming to me at the right time. Because if I learned, for example, Matthias, his knowledge 10 years ago, I had no idea what he's talking about, right? But
Hmm.
now, like I understand what he's talking about, because when people talk, you feel it in the heart. And some of the information, it doesn't come to your heart. That's not your truth. You don't have to believe it. Even though it sounds like truth, you don't have to believe it. And I know it that my heart connect when the information is true. That's why I I had a very difficult to keep the same spiritual teachers for a long time, because I got some information and then I had kind of blockage. And then I didn't know what it was. And then at the end of the day, I realized that was the human ego. Like sometimes they speak from their ego or their knowledge, right? So which is not bad, but that's not resonate of my energy or the truth. So I block myself somehow. I was like, I love his information. I love her information, but something about this information is not correct, or it's not correct for me. So I block myself until Satya Sai Baba came to my dream and then show me all the lifetimes I lived.
Mm.
And that was mind-blowing. Like I knew him because he's Afro hair, orange robe, and famous in India, you know. But
He
and
has
then
an
my brother,
afro?
Afro, yeah, beautiful Afro.
Cool.
Anyway, so my brother went to see him long time ago. And so I knew his existence, you know, Sai Baba. So I said, okay, Baba, so what? You know, I was not ready. So I was like going into different spiritual teachers and learning about different um, teachings from ancient times, or, you know, like old people's experience or books. Anyway, but it was blocking. And then one day, my brother brought a guy. He passed away a couple of years ago, but his name was Peter. And Peter had so many years, almost over 40 years of time with Satya Sai Baba in ashram in India. So he has so many experience. And then he talked about so many miracles and then great stories, and then the time that he was taken to the UFO and then all that. Believe me, he is very grounded person. He doesn't believe what he doesn't see. He's very skeptic. But anyway, he knows something, he speak. So I was listening and I said, great story, but not for me. But that night, Baba appeared, Sai Baba appeared in a dream, standing here. It's like standing here with a red robe, beautiful red. And then I see all my past. I call them past because of this reality, but past lives I lived, black and white images. Boom, 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 boom. This boom is one story, one lifetime, whole night. And then I woke up in the morning. I was exhausted. I was so exhausted. I was like, what was that? And then again, I didn't remember any of stories from that, you know, from that dream.
Ah.
And I was like, wow. Then I realized that I had love. I felt love towards to this being, such as Sai Baba. I was like, who is he? You know, like I was 40 years old then. And I was like, who is he? You know, I don't want to get into the religion, you know, like I know that all these religions has meaning behind it, you know, the good part and negative part, like a human life or human being. So I said, I don't want to go into that. And I realized that Baba is not a religion, it's a philosophy. He teaches universal knowledge through him, but not with the ego. So when he speaks, it comes to my heart directly. There's no filters whatsoever. And then very simple, you know, help others, hurt never. And
Mm.
what serve all, love all, serve all, and be happy. You know, help ever, hurt never. That kind of, it's just very simple. And then he said, you and I have no difference between us. Only one, which you forgot your God. I still remember I'm God. That's it. So he was not saying, oh, I'm the God, you know, like he said, you're the God, you're the love. But you are out of that because you don't remember who you are.
Mm.
And he celebrates Christmas. He does all the ceremonies, and then he visit people. all his life was devoting to humanity, teaching and showing the very, very best example how we can be. That was his life.
Mm.
So I was like, wow, great man. How many people can do that? Every single day, millions of people talking to him in the head or face to face in person. And
Mm.
he's listening all that, and then he's taking care of everything, and then he has so much compassion. So I knew the existence of Avatar in India, and then I went to see Amma, and Amma was the same, but she's a mother. She accepts everything, and then she smiles. She cooks beautiful food, and for 5 days I cleanse my mind because she knows everything what I think. So first things I was afraid was she knows what I'm thinking, right? But at the end of the day, you don't care anymore. So be
Mm.
it. They know everything because they are me. She is me, you are me. So, what I need to do is just focus on my energy, my life purpose, which comes through my heart, and just to do the right things because I want to be doing that. And some people said, well, how about those people who killing others? I said, they're doing their job. Believe or not, they're doing their job. And Amma said, the God is the villain and the people are the heroes. In the movie, we need both. So we play sometimes as a villain and creating all this up and down stories, like all this trouble, drama, and then you're fighting
Mm.
against it and trying to learn out of that. And the story is very fun. Otherwise, it's boring.
Yeah.
Movie without villain, and then everything
Mm.
happy, 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 happy. You're like, wasted my money, like going to the movie theater and watching the happy story,
But I
right?
have a
So
question. I have a
yeah.
question about that because people have said that this is a theory, this is a belief that we need that you don't know the light until you have the darkness. That literally, in order to have this experience and to challenge ourselves and to grow, we need the weight of darkness, right? And so
Mhm,
that makes sense in that regard. But here's the question that came to my mind based on what you said about the choice. The choice of, do
mhm,
you want to be good or bad in this life, and then just do it. We also said, I think your avatar also said right after that, that everything you do, you get back. What would
mhm.
be for the person who has decided in this lifetime to be bad, to be part of the darkness, to be part of the challenge and the illusion? What is the benefit of that? Like, why would someone say to that avatar, I want to be bad. I want to be part of the darkness. If they know that they have to get all that
Because
back at some point.
yeah, because my mom, for example, she become a character to give me a hard time. Yeah, especially when I was a little child, that was hard because you felt like you have a nobody, right? And then you're not loved. And then that's the most painful feeling, that it's like the heart is squeezed. And then I was screaming out, crying all the time. But anyway, she did this job for me so that I can learn. So she is doing that job to teach me something out of benefit of both souls. And then sometimes it's karma is not I kill you, you kill me. Yeah. Karma means action in Indian, I think, the language. We act, we do action. That's the karma. And from that action, you have energy out of you. You created the energy. And then that energy will come back to you eventually, not coming from exactly the same person or the same soul sometimes, but same type of energy. For example, I'll give you one example. A lady who is crying really badly since she was a baby when her father was holding her. Okay, so she was born, she was crying out very loud when he was coming close or holding her. No, like crying.
Mhm.
And then the mother was thinking, like, what's happened? And he's a lovely person. Why she was crying, no one knew. And then when she grown up, she had a regression therapy. And then she went back to the lifetime that the same soul as a father now killed her. And as a baby, the babies are very connected to the other rim. And she remembered that story, right? Somehow in the soul level. And then she was like, oh my goodness, these guys again, these souls again, please don't come, like I don't want to die again, or stuff like this, I cannot translate the baby language, but it was like that. And then, so she always felt this not safe with that person, even he is here to take care of her. And then he was a lovely guy. And in that regression therapy, what the subconscious was explaining to us was because he took her life in that lifetime, in the other lifetime, he came back here as a father to give life and take care of her. So that's the same amount of energy he's exchanging. Yeah. So we do all this action for ourselves anyway, because everything is connected. And one day Baba said to the students, I think that was a student or someone who visited ashram, because he said, this student, I called this guy student, but this student asked the Baba, I want to help others. What can I do? And the Baba said, who? Who's others? And the student like, everyone, everyone I can think of. It's only you in this universe. This is your game. And then darkness and the light, for example, we have like polarity and dualities and then different energy, right? But when Baba described how this universe is created, it's because when it cannot experience from this position. So he said, I created myself out of me to love myself. So when the universe is created, then there are separations from the divine. So it's still divine, yeah? But they become duality. They did become polarity. So that is dark or negative, you call it, and then a positive and good. But they are all coming from the same source. And from that perspective that we can understand as the third dimensional being, because we focus on this reality, we see, we believe. So we understand he's doing something wrong, he's a bad person, for example. But the story of life, this soul journey, is not that simple. It's connected to all other stories with the different lifetimes, his soul purpose, and the contract that he created in a different place, which is like spirit world, whatever you can call it. So yeah.
So the thing is that the story, not the story, but the idea of pre-birth and creating the soul contracts, and that all works out. Like when you put it all together, it's like putting the pieces of a puzzle together, and it makes sense, and it can help people who, like yourself, were depressed, and you can just start to see the bigger picture. But there, of course, are people who don't believe this story. You know what I mean? That's not their foundation. Yeah. So one of my questions is, in regards to that, because thankfully you do QHHT, and is this a story that is confirmed in most, if not all, of your regression sessions? Like, do people always have that experience where they're in a soul group, or they are writing soul contracts, or they're pre-planning their lives, and that they have multiple lives? Like, is this something that is standard for pretty much everybody you've ever regressed?
Everyone is different. So the sum of the soul has a different, I don't want to call it level, but because we live in the third dimensional reality, we compare, right? So some of the soul looks like or sounds like a little bit more advanced than others. This is illusion as well, but we talk like this, okay? And so from here and then there, they have a different experiences. What they believe appears into the session. The near-death experience too. I went to the vortex or void of energy, but some people goes to the beautiful place. You know, I wished I had that things, you know, like some angels appears and then a butterfly comes and then like a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful place. And, you know, no, I was just a pitch dark, like, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And, but it's what we believe or what our soul journey, where we are at, then we have a different, for example, sessions. QHHT session, I've done over 1,000 sessions by now, but every single person goes through a different way. Even though it's funny because people think that they just gone and then they don't remember anything. That doesn't happen so often. Sometimes it happens, but because the mind is trying to watch it and then trying to know what's happening. So you have kind of like close connection with your mind, and then your mind is trying to observe. So you feel like you're still here, and you know. So but you're seeing the past life. It is weird experience, but some people goes to the light, the white light, to be healed. Some people going to the school to learn. Some people going to life between lives to talk to the loved ones, or the story that I talked about, you know, they are planning something, right? And and some people just go through the past life or the future life, even the future. Future is not set. There's so many different opportunities. But when people worry about too much about the future, there are some cases the subconscious or higher self take them to see the future. Most likely, potentially could happen future. And then they see it, and then quite often they come back to me and said, that happened. So it is interesting. But then all these experiences are given because that's what they need, not that what they want. So I said to people, do not expect anything. I cannot guarantee you anything, but whatever you are given today is given, because I'm not guiding you, they're guiding you. So I see a lot of people had an interesting experience that's in front of my eyes. The physical form changed, the character of the guy changed. So the wife called me to say, what have you done to him? You know, like, he's so good. How long he's gonna be like this? You know, I want him to be like this forever. You know, that kind of story happens, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. But then sometimes, like, interesting story is like a guy who was a lawyer. He doesn't believe reincarnations, or he doesn't know spiritualities, and he's like this, you know. But he had an issue, physical issue. So his wife booked for a session, and then he sat down. He said, "Do whatever you're supposed to, and I go home." Okay. He never do meditation. What's happened is he went to very deep trance state just very quickly. And then he was talking to me, and when I was talking to him, and then he didn't remember anything. Okay. That is one of the example. That's how we let go of the expectation, because he didn't expect anything. He thought that was a crap, right? So he just didn't expect anything. But, you know, my wife told me I should come here, otherwise, you know, we cannot sleep in the same bed, or, you know, in the same bedroom, because like I have apnea, so, you know, I make noise and she cannot sleep at night, so I need to fix this. So he came, but he went through really deep, you know, trance state. Then he was giving the healing, he was giving answers. That was amazing. But then opposite side, there was a lady, very spiritual. Okay, so she does meditation 2 to 3 hours a day. She went to India, she does yoga, and then she's hardcore vegan and blah blah blah. Okay. It was so hard to make her relax.
Wow.
It was so funny. You know, like, you think like, oh, she can do meditation 2 to 3 hours, so she can go like that. No, because she was trapped in the mind. That's she needed to realize before she had a session. But she thought, oh, you know, like, I do meditation every day, I don't need to practice, right? That kind of like, so every single sessions are all different. So I never say this happened. Majority of times people go through the stories, which is connected to the problems. It's related to current life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the higher self, make up the stories to teach clients. Like I
And
give you
what?
one example.
Mm.
One example. A lady who was indecisive. I didn't know she was so indecisive, but she was, okay? And so she went to the place. There are two street ahead. And then I said, so what do you want to do? She said, I want to go on the left. Okay, go on the left. She said, no, no, no. You know, I think I shouldn't. I'm not allowed. I said, who said that? Myself. Okay, go on the left. If you want to go, there's no one, right? And she said, yeah, no one. Okay, go on the left. And then she walked on the left. And then there was a hill. It's not a mountain, it was a hill. And she said, wow, I want to climb up to the top. I said, do that. She said, but this is someone else's property. I shouldn't go there. I said, don't care. You know, like that I will take responsibility. If someone comes and then, you know, tell you this is not good, and then I'll apologize. So don't worry. Anyway, so she walked through this path going up to the hill, and then she saw beautiful butterflies, beautiful these sceneries and the flowers, and she was enjoying everything. And then she was on the top of the hill, and then she said, wow. I said, what is that? Golden city. Beautiful golden, everything golden. That's not possible. I said, why not? You know, like, and then she said, but I want to see that. I want to go there. Okay, let's go. She said, no, it's not possible. This is too far. I said, where you are now, you can do anything. When you think you want to go there, you can go. Just go there. And then she said, are you sure? Yep. And that moment, she thought she wants to go there, and then she was there. And then she was like, wow, it's so beautiful. Everything is gold. This is unreal. No, 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 this is unreal, but this is beautiful, you know? And she was really surprised that everything what she see was gold. Anyway, so she went into the house, big door. It looks like a Chinese type of big opening door like this, you know? And then she said, I want to open this. Okay. He said, no, 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 this is someone's house. You know, I can't open it. No, that's okay. Open it. So she's waited a little bit, you know, a few minutes, but she decided to open it. And then she opened. And then boom, she went into the lifetime she was a fisherman. So from the time she started to see the street to the time that she opened the door, the golden door, was the made up story that higher self wants to teach her how to make decisions. And when she woke up and she said, wow, that was so easy. And I said, what is easy? Making decisions. You know, like I thought I'll never do it, but that was easy. And she was happy, you know? So sometimes that higher self, we just follow, then they will give us some stories which is made up, but who cares? It's benefit us in some ways. And then people say, is that a past life or da da da? I say, I do not care about that either, because time is not linear. Time we experience here on the third dimensional reality. By the way, this is not only third dimensional. We are multi-dimensional beings, so we are experiencing different dimensions here. But we focus on the third dimensional. So this third dimensional reality, that we have time, we have distance, because time is not linear. Everything is already here. So if you shift the future, you can shift the past.